All right, good morning or good afternoon. Today, I want to be discussing how to appeal your Section 8 denial. If you applied for a Section 8 voucher and you had issues resolving whether or not you'd be able to remain on the waiting list or even receive the housing choice voucher or subsidy, I'm going to go over that today. So let me switch frames real quick and then we'll proceed with the video. So I'm going to put up some information regarding our company. As you can see from the top, we include our phone number, website, as well as email there. My office is by appointment only. And so with that being said, I'm going to move my picture over a little bit. There we go. I'm off to the right. And I'm going to bring in some notes today. That's for those of you that may have a learning or other disabilities. And so this will also be available to you in the comments section. So first up in our step, the Housing Authority has a right to deny or terminate your Section 8 voucher assistance. And you may have the right to challenge that decision through informal hearing process. The step-by-step appeal process will be first to read the notice very carefully to identify the specific reason for the denial, the rule of evidence, and the housing authority relied on, which usually comes through their administrative plan, which sometimes you can request or put in a letter for a FOIA to get that information from them. Your deadline to appeal this decision, do not wait. That appeal date is extremely important, and where and how you must respond. Uh, where and how you may request to be submitted. All right. So from there, we're going to go on to request to correct appeal procedure. Applications usually request an informal hearing, and the current voucher participants usually request that as well. They use the exact procedure stated in the notice. Deadlines vary by housing authority, so you may be able to respond immediately or as soon as you can. You should include your full name, contact information, application, and the client name, as well as your voucher number, the date and denial notice, and a clear statement that you dispute this decision. A request for an informal review or hearing, and then to inspect and request to inspect and a copy of the records against you. So, in other words, the information that they may have, so you have a chance to rebut or give them a rebuttal for that hearing. Okay. Keep proof of submission, such as email confirmation, fax receipt, and or a date stamped copy. For most of you, you're going to want to put in this notice by mail, and then you're going to want a tracking number. I repeat, do not use a signature confirmation because they do not have to go and sign for that. Number four, request your complete case file. Look, guys, remember to request that case file digitally. Do not do it any other way. Otherwise, you will be in for hundreds in fees, okay? Where they get up there and they print everything out on their copier or printer. The application and so the documents you're going to need is the application and verification of documents, criminal background screening reports, income calculations, notice and correspondence, and case notes, policies and administrative plan provisions used, and all documents that the housing authority intends to present. Now, look, I know I'm rolling through this very quickly. I will put these notes in the description as well. That way you can re-review this as you wish. One thing I'm going to tell you guys is, look, there's a lot of stuff to deal for any one person. If you procedurally have not gone through an informal hearing, you're probably going to want to help with that. You can reach out to our office. Again, our information is at the top of the video here, or you can reach out to an attorney, but they're probably going to be a lot more expensive than my office would be. You can identify what caused the denial. Common reasons may include income and household ineligibility, missing documents, missing deadlines, alleged fraud or false information, criminal or drug-related history, monies alleged owed to the housing authority, previous program violations, citizenship or eligibility issues related to immigration status, failure to attend an appointment, inability to verify your information. You're going to want to gather up evidence for the exact reason. Useful evidence may include receipts and payment records, court dispositions, and correct background reports, income statements, emails, letters, and submission of confirmations, proof that documents were submitted on time, witness statements, treatment, rehabilitation, and also mitigating evidence, disability-related verification when relevant. Number seven, request a reasonable accommodation if needed. If a disability contribute to the missed deadline, communication problem, past conduct, or inability to complete the process, you may request a reasonable accommodation. Now, that's a whole different video in itself. So if you don't know how to do that or compose the letters that are necessary, I would recommend reaching out to my office. Moving on from there, explanation to accommodation needed and the connection between disability related limitation and the request. A qualified professional may provide verification, but detailed medical records are not always recommended. And number 8, review the Housing Authority's administrative plan. As I mentioned, you request that under FOIA or Freedom of Information Act, and that will be you usually can mail that in. And remember again, that administrative plan, you do not want them to print that out. You want a digital copy. Always indicate that. And also indicate the most recent copy so you don't get one that's 5 to 10 years old. The administrative plan should explain eligibility and screening standards, appeal deadlines, evidence and hearing procedures, mitigating circumstances, reasonable accommodation policies, who has the authority to make the final decision. And let's be clear, that administrative plan also dictates how they must respond under each circumstance. So it's an extremely powerful thing to have. Number 9, prepare a simple hearing presentation. Organize your argument in this order, which would be what housing authority decided, why the decision is factually and procedurally incorrect, what evidence supports your position, what policy or rule applies, what outcome you're requesting, and finally, number 10, attend the review or hearing, and it's generally going to be an in-office visit, or you may have a video meeting. Bring copies of everything that document everything. Stay focused on the statement, denial, reason, and asking the hearing officer to overturn the denial or return the application for proper reconsideration. Do not argue basic facts with these people. Okay, they're not there to consider your moral and ethical position on this, and so you don't want to give them your life story. Remain factual and remove any emotional tones from this. You don't want to be in a position where you're being accusatory to people or suggesting that's one person or another that you may not like. Okay, basic appeal request template is what I've included here. I'm going to try my best to include that in the base of the video as well in the comments section, but I would recommend strongly that you get somebody like my office to write your appeal for you to avert any problems, because once you appeal this decision, if you fail to do so, you may not get a second or greater opportunity to do so. Again, my information is up here. It's 346-293-2341, www.section8consulting.com, and section8consulting@gmail.com. Remember, the 8 is spelled out as EIGHT. And look, guys, I've enjoyed having you. I'm sorry I didn't blow through it so quickly, but in the world of quick videos and YouTube policies, they prefer short videos, so I'm trying to keep it short. Again, you can find the information in the comment section below, as well as live comments and the description of the video. Okay, guys, I've enjoyed talking with you today, and I hope to see you again for our Sunday lives if you happen to be available. All right, thank you, and have a great day.